Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads, it's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
David Sullivan?
Zane Martel's face stiffened, and his aura suddenly became cold. It turned out that the man was not dead yet. He had imagined that David Sullivan would definitely be punished by the sect, and might even be executed.
Larry Shaw, do you know David Sullivan?
I met him once before, but we're not close.
While David Sullivan did not belong to the Goodwill sect, he was one of the members of the Zan sect. But on that day, David Sullivan had interfered with his path and had stopped. However, David Sullivan had already been a great general of the Zan sect a year ago, and Zane Martel was certain that he knew about the current situation of Elora in the Goodwill sect. However little he knew, it was sure to be more than what Zane Martel knew. Either way, it seemed that this time around Zane Martel must devise a way to track down this old friend of his from that day.
May I ask where David Sullivan is now? I haven't seen him for a long time. We have so much to reminisce about.
Master Vade did not doubt Zane Martel's words, but he kept him guessing and told Katie first.
Miss Katie, may I speak to Larry Shaw alone?
Katie glanced at Zane Martel.
Go ahead, I'm fine alone.
Katie walked out, leaving Zane Martel and Master Vade behind. Master Vade walked up to Zane Martel and suddenly bowed solemnly, his expression incomparably grave.
Do you have anything to tell me? I know that this celestial life pill was refined by you. Since your pill refinement skills are so astonishing, why don't you join my Alchemist Association?
The Alchemist Association? Oh, you've got me all wrong. This pill isn't my handiwork.
Zane Martel refused directly. The Alchemist Association was very well known. In the past, as long as he revealed his affiliation with the association, almost no one would dare to lay a finger on him. However, the identity of the person who refined the Celestial Life Pill would be exposed. In Eastern Palm and the Seven Kingdoms Alliance, quite a few people knew that Zane Martel knew how to refine a Celestial Life Pill. And once this news was leaked out, the consequences would be unimaginable, at least not before he saw Elora. Master Vade seemed to have seen through Zane Martel's thoughts. He frowned, sighed, and deliberately said,
So, you're not the one who refined the pill. What a pity, but I can see that you have an impressive demeanor. Why don't you have this token?
He handed over a token, which was engraved with a golden elixir. It was the identity token of the Alchemist Association. Not standing at the ceremony, Zane Martel received it and asked,
Do you know where David Sullivan is? I was really hoping to catch up with him.
Master Vade told him everything he knew and David Sullivan's location. After leaving the association, Zane Martel let Katie go back first, and he went to David Sullivan's place. Having not seen this old friend for a long time, Zane Martel's heart swelled with excitement, and even his fist emitted a creaking sound. In an inn on the 3 main streets of the association, Zane Martel went straight to the 2nd floor. David Sullivan was enjoying his meal with a few members of the Zan sect there. It'd been a year since they'd last seen each other, and he broke through to the 2nd stage of the advanced level. A skinny young man beside David Sullivan raised his liquor cup and said,
Come on, bottoms up. David Sullivan, in order to celebrate the end of your punishment, you must get drunk this time.
That's right. You can't catch a break, can you? You're obviously a great general. And not only did the sect not reward you according to your merits, but they also punished you, grounding you for a year. Heavens, you wouldn't be able to come out unless you break through to the advanced level.
The person next to him laughed at him. David Sullivan was also very helpless. He sneered at himself, looked at the cup in his hand, and drank it all in one gulp.
You weren't at the scene that day. How would you know? If I had to choose again, I would have done the same thing all over again.
David Sullivan, how dare you?
The few people beside David Sullivan frowned when they saw this. When they saw that Zane Martel had come with ill intentions, they immediately rushed forward and shouted,
Hey, what are you trying to do? And why the hell are you on a first-name basis with David Sullivan?
Immediately, someone at the 2nd stage of the advanced level took action, but Zane Martel sent him flying from the 2nd floor of the inn with a single punch. The man landed heavily on the ground.
How dare you? Do you know who we are? How dare you attack the people of the Zan sect? You're courting death.
Seeing that Zane Martell had really made his move, David Sullivan's fellow Marshall brothers did not hesitate. They immediately drew out a war saber and charged at him with sharp saber radius. In an instant, dozens of people were coming at him, but Zane Martell easily dodged them and then easily knocked them down to the ground. On the second floor, many diners made room to watch the scene because of such a commotion. David Sullivan looked at Zane Martell's unfamiliar appearance. He should have been very angry that the intruder was causing trouble, but his body began to tremble. His memory might be fuzzy, but his body wouldn't lie. David Sullivan's body was trembling inexplicably, which proved that he was terribly afraid of the person in front of him.
What are you trying to do?
David Sullivan, don't just space out. Hurry up and take this guy down.
The people lying on the ground screamed.
Take me down? All right, let's settle our old and new grudges together today.
The corner of Zane Martell's mouth was lifted as he clenched his fist tightly, and a frightening force erupted. He directly threw a punch at David Sullivan's chest and threw him off the first floor. The ground shook. David Sullivan, who was inside the big hole that had just been made from Zane Martell's attack, actually became afraid and did not dare to make a move. His pupils shrank as he looked at Zane Martell's new face in horror and said,
Impossible. You can't be him.
Did you recognize me?
After he had disguised himself with the Dark Wolf mask, even Eric Helm hadn't been able to recognize him at first glance. However, was David Sullivan actually able to recognize him? Just how afraid was he of Zane Martell?
I won't forget you even if you turn into ashes. You are Zane Martell.
I am Larry Shaw now. If you dare to let your lips run loose, you should think about what will befall you.
His tone was ice cold and emotionless, causing David Sullivan to tremble all over. He quickly nodded with a serious face, and then he stood up and said to his fellow disciples on the ground awkwardly,
Everyone, I know this person. It's a misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding. I'll talk to Larry Shaw outside for a while. Don't worry about me.
As he spoke, David Sullivan accompanied Zane Martell out of the inn. But how could those disciples of the Zan sect in the inn believe it? They pondered for a while.
No, we can't let David Sullivan put himself in danger. Quick, call for help.
Soon, Zane Martell and David Sullivan arrived at a remote alley.
Are you really Zane Martell? But you've actually survived the pursuit of the expert level and entered the Imperial capital without anyone noticing. I find this truly unbelievable. And now you are a member of the Dark Wolf Hall?
He glanced at Zane Martell's clothes and recognized the insignia.
Cut the crap and just answer my question if you want to stay alive.
Okay. As long as you spare me, I'll tell you everything I know. If there's anything you want to know, ask away.
How much do you know about the situation of that girl, Elora? How is she now? Is there any latest news about her?
I only know that the formation that the Goodwill sect's Sebastian is in charge of must be operated by 4 women of the Purple Pole spiritual body. In the sect competition this time, one of the women with the spiritual body will also participate as a disciple of the Goodwill sect.
What's her name?
Beth.
This information could not be said to be unimportant. Sebastian needed 4 women of the Purple Pole spiritual body to activate the formation, one of whom was Beth. As long as he could kill her, or maybe he could just kidnap her and delay Sebastian's plan. I see. You can go now.
I can go? Are you being serious right now?
You don't want to leave? Then you sure as hell can stay.
No. I'm leaving. I'm leaving right now. Don't worry. I won't tell anyone about you and everything that happened today.
Of course, David Sullivan would have to swear himself to secrecy, because who was standing in front of him? Almost everyone in the entire state of Eastern Palm had a severe case of Zane Martell phobia, the death god. David Sullivan was already extremely lucky to be able to walk out of Zane Martell's hands alive. It went without saying that he would not have the guts to speak nonsense. All of a sudden, there was a rush of footsteps around the alley. Someone suddenly taunted them.
Hey, listen up, that son of a bitch from the Dark Wolf Hall. Let go of David Sullivan and come out so we could execute you.
All of a sudden, a strong torrent of vital energy poured from all directions with great momentum.
Did you bring them here?
Being stared at by Zane Martell like this, David Sullivan's hair stood on end, and he felt goosebumps all over his body.
No, it can't be. Maybe they misunderstood that you took me away. Don't worry, I'll make them leave immediately.
As he spoke, David Sullivan rushed out and walked to the front of the few people just now, scolding them loudly.
Hey! Hey! Who said you could bring people here? Get lost if you still want to live! Scram!
The others looked at each other, not knowing what had happened.
Did the man just now threaten you? Don't worry, I brought 20 people this time and we'll box him in for sure.
Hearing this, David Sullivan could almost visualize the gateway to hell as he thought.
For God's sake, don't they realize that the man in question is Zane Martell? I'm saving your lives. Why in God's name is there such a moron in the Zan sect? Threaten? My foot. He's my friend. That was just the way we greet each other. Let's go. Let's go.
It hadn't been easy for David Sullivan to send the others away. Then, he looked meaningfully at the alley inside and left. Not long after, Zane Martell also left the alley.
Things are easier now that I know the woman's name is Beth. Even if I need to take her away in public, I definitely can't let Sebastian's cunning plan succeed. But this matter must be done quickly, and it must be completed before the sect competition begins.
Before Zane Martell knew it, he had arrived at the bustling street, on either side of which were many guests. An idea occurred to him as he walked toward one of the stores with the largest customer pool.
Since I'm here, let's see if I can find the blood essence of the ancient demonic beast. Excuse me, shopkeeper.
Soon a shopkeeper walked in front of Zane Martell and asked with a grin,
"Sir, what are you looking for? Although our store is not as grand, you can find our branches all over the whole state of Eastern Palm. In fact, over the past year, we have even expanded our branches to the Seven Kingdoms Alliance. Whatever you want, I assure you we are sure to have them."
I want the blood essence of the ancient demonic beasts. I'll pay whatever price for it.
Sir, you've made it to just the right place. Not long ago, we happened to get a batch of new goods. There is the blood essence of the ancient demonic beast. Wait a minute, I'll get it for you.
Really? It seems that the imperial capital of Eastern Palm is indeed worthy of its reputation. It's the most prosperous place in the whole state.
Not long after, the shopkeeper brought over a jade bottle and handed it to Zane Martell, who accepted it and saw that there were about 3 drops of blood essence in it.
The blood essence was extremely pure, full of blood and energy, with a trace of an ancient spirit. It was the blood essence of the ancient demonic beast, all right. What kind of demonic beast's blood essence is this? What's the price?
It was not easy to come across the blood essence of an ancient demonic beast. Now that he could find it, as soon as he looked for it, it could only be said that he was lucky.
It's from a demonic beast called the Iron Teeth Beast. It contains a faint trace of the blood essence of the ancient roaring beast. Faint as it is, it's also very precious, so the price is 10 million crystals.
The ancient roaring beasts were not as good as divine beasts like the Azure Dragon and the White Tiger, but they were also very rare. It was said that the roars of the roaring beasts sounded like the cry of babies. They would lure humans to check on them, and then they would eat them.
I want it. Is this the only ancient demonic beast's blood essence here? Is there anything else?
No.
Zane Martell bought some ordinary demonic beast essence to soak in the beast blood pool. Before leaving, the shopkeeper suddenly said something.
By the way, sir, if you want to know more information about the blood essence of the ancient demonic beast, you can inquire about it in Carlom Street. I heard that there is an underground auction there. Maybe there is something you want.
Carlom Street, underground auction.
No sooner had Zane Martell obtained information about the underground auction from the others than he found himself in a small alley. He was at a dead end, but there were 2 sentries at the peak 9th stage of the intermediate level posted there. As soon as they saw Zane Martell coming, they became alert and blocked his way.
There's no way out here. You'd better go somewhere else.
I'm here to attend the auction.
The 2 looked at each other, nodded.
This way, please.
One of them pressed his hand against the wall, where there was a mechanism, and with a click, a stone gate passage appeared.
If you go in from here, you can enter the auction. However, the entrance fee is 50,000 worth of crystals.
50,000? Was everything in the Imperial capital so expensive?
After paying the entrance fee, Zane Martel passed through the tunnel and arrived at the auction hall. The unit was only more than 100 square meters, and there were dozens of people sitting there. The surrounding light was very dim, and it was difficult to see the outline of the people here clearly. One could only see the stage in front of them. At this moment, the host on the stage had already begun to auction the items when Zane Martel randomly found a seat and sat down.
The next item to be auctioned is a kind of bright grass which is used to refine pills and comprehend the power of nature. The starting price is 700,000. Each raise must be no less than 10,000 crystals. The auction begins. 800,000.
Bidding 850,000.
890,000.
Soon, the item was taken away by a buyer who had bid it for 890,000 crystals. In the next half an hour, about a dozen goods were auctioned, each of which was very precious and unusual in the outside world. Although Zane Martel had an eye-opening experience, he was a little depressed.
Why didn't I see any ancient demonic beast's blood essence being auctioned? Could it be that it has already been auctioned off?
As he was mumbling to no one in particular, the host on the stage suddenly took out a jade bottle and enthused.
I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in the next item that is going to be auctioned. This is a bottle of blood essence from a flying fish at the advanced level. This flying fish contained a faint trace of the bloodline of an ancient demonic beast. I believe everyone knows what a mythical tiger is. It's a demonic beast comparable to a real dragon.
As soon as these words came out, many people's eyes lit up. They licked their lips, rubbed their hands, and were about to make a move.
Don't keep us guessing. Tell me, how much do you want?
Well, don't worry, everyone. There are 5 drops of blood essence in this bottle. The starting price is 2 million crystals. The price increase must not be less than 50,000.
A sharp intake of breath spiked the mood. When the price came out, many people gasped. Immediately, someone began to bid.
If you folks think it's too expensive, I'll take it. 2,300,000.
2,500,000.
Slowly, the price of the blood essence was raised, and the host on the ring showed a satisfied smile at the person who'd called the price at the beginning. It was not easy to meet the blood essence of the ancient demonic beast, so Zane Martel would not give up so easily. He immediately joined the bidding.
2,900,000 crystals.
3 million crystals.
Soon his price was one-upped by someone else.
As expected. As soon as the blood essence comes out, many people will definitely covet it. It seems that if I don't take out some savings, it would be impossible for me to get it. Anyway, I still have a lot of crystals left. I might as well throw them out. 3,500,000.
Zane Martel's sudden increase in the price of 500,000 worth of crystals caused the others to sigh.
Holy God, how could he have so much money?
He must have just come back from raiding.
Suddenly, a rough man's voice sounded in a corner, shouting to Zane Martel through the air.
My friend, I need this bottle of blood essence very much. I hope you can give it to me. My price is 3 million.
Just because you needed it, I should take a back seat.
Immediately, he raised the price again.
4 million crystals.
The rough man was immediately displeased. He stood up and stared at Zane Martel, emitting the aura at the second stage of the advanced level, as he threatened.
I just said that I'll take this bottle of blood essence. I offer 4,100,000. If you raise the price again, you may lose your life before you could enjoy it.
At this time, the people around began to chatter. The host on the stage was displeased. The rough man did this simply to prevent them from making money. Immediately, the host released a horrible killing intent as he charged toward the bidders. He was like an iceberg, making people's hearts suddenly tighten.
Sir, I'd advise you to watch your words. If you insist on making trouble, it may kill you.